Adam Sandler is known for making comedy out of uncomfortable situations, but he can still be pretty awkward when the cameras are off. From making kids cry to getting handsy on a talk show, Sandler's cringy behavior has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. From Drew Barrymore in The Wedding Singer to Jennifer Aniston in Just Go With It, Adam Sandler has had to lock lips with some of the most famous women in Hollywood. But as a happily married man, the comedian claims he finds his on-screen smooches to be awkward. In a joint interview with Aniston for W Magazine, Adam disputed his co-star's claim that he's a good kissing partner, responding, "She would try to protect me. I'm never excited for romantic scenes." Luckily, the star doesn't have to worry about any jealousy from his other half, Jackie Sandler. He added, "My wife loves the women I work with. She's always saying, 'Come on, make sure you kiss the best you can.'" Jackie might not have any qualms about seeing her husband pucker up with other women in public, but as you'd expect, their daughters Sadie and Sunny do. During an appearance on the Jennifer Hudson Show, Adam explained,
"When I have to kiss anybody, they're not thrilled about that."
Contrary to his on-screen persona, Sandler appears to be a relatively calm, composed, and courteous man in real life. But in 2017, the funny man made headlines for all the wrong reasons, following a visibly awkward appearance on Britain's #1 talk show. Sandler was accused of getting a little too handsy with fellow guest Claire Foy when he continually positioned his hand on her leg while they were being interviewed on The Graham Norton Show. Not only did the Crown star seem to look uneasy with the gesture, but Emma Thompson, who was sitting on the other side of the comedian, also appeared to glance at his behavior unfavorably. Following an internet pile-on, a spokesperson for Foy insisted in a statement to Yahoo News that things have been blown out of proportion, writing, "We don't believe anything was intended by Adam's gesture, and it has caused no offense to Claire." A representative for Sandler, meanwhile, also argued that it was a sign of friendliness, pointing out that the actor had done the same thing on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon while sitting next to Dustin Hoffman. In 1996, The Price is Right host Bob Barker made a rare big screen appearance in Happy Gilmore.
Oh! You like that, old man? You want a piece of me? I want the whole thing! Oh!
Following the shoot, the unlikely duo also went out to dinner together. Unfortunately, the film's leading man, just like his character, soon made things awkward. Sandler recalled the incident while appearing on The Late Show with David Letterman, explaining, "I sat next to him and he's a big animal rights activist, and I forgot. But I ordered chicken marsala. I started feeling guilty because I remember once I had my chicken, he'd look at me like, 'Why? Why do you hurt the chicken? That chicken has a family.'"
I was like, you can tell their family that they raised that tasty little chicken.
Yeah.
While Sandler's story was unlikely to endear him to PETA, it didn't appear to offend Barker. In fact, the pair remained friends despite the uncomfortable dinner, as evident by Sandler's glowing tribute following the TV legend's death. He wrote on X in August 2023, "The man, the myth, the best. Such a sweet, funny guy to hang out with. Loved talking to him, loved laughing with him. Loved him kicking the crap out of me." Back in 2013, Sandler recalled the moment he tried to catch his Grown Ups 2 co-star Shaquille O'Neal in the shower. While appearing on Conan, Sandler explained how his idea came about, saying, "We play basketball. We gotta get back to the movie set. Shaq has to take a shower, so everyone's like, 'All right, we'll see you later, Shaq.' In my head, I'm like, I've gotta see Shaq naked. I can't pass up that opportunity." The actor then walked through the moment. He walked to the nearby locker room shower O'Neal was lathering up in. Luckily for the NBA star, he had some protection, Sandler said. "His bodyguard is there. His bodyguard is just so strong and big. He has a thick neck, bald head, and this one eye. He's looking at me with this one eye, so I said, 'Sorry, I was just trying to see Shaq's penis. I apologize, and I'm out of here. Please don't tell Shaq.'" O'Neal did eventually find out about this peeping Tom mission, but thankfully for Sandler, he took it all in good humor. It's fair to say that Sandler isn't exactly a critical darling. The comedic actor has enjoyed the random glowing review, usually when he plays against his type in more serious-minded movies, such as Punch Drunk Love and Uncut Gems. But his own Happy Madison productions are generally lucky to receive 2 stars. Luckily, Sandler can usually brush off any side-swiping when it's aimed directly at him. But thanks to his habit of casting his nearest and dearest, he finds it much harder when the negative comments affect his co-stars. In a 2015 chat with one-time nemesis Howard Stern, the comedian admitted, "The bad reviews that I get on everything I do, that part pisses me off because I ask my friends to be in it." Sandler, whose lowest scoring Rotten Tomatoes rating is the dreaded 0%, for the ridiculous 6, went on to add, "I'm promising them I think it's good, and then I do screenings for an audience and it all works, and I'll call them up after and say, 'Hey, that one thing you said really did great.' And then that Friday, every Friday, literally every one of my movies is destroyed." Sandler didn't exactly help dispel his reputation as a man-child with the way he celebrated a lucrative deal with one of the world's biggest streamers. In a 2014 statement, he joked, "When these fine people came to me with an offer to make 4 movies for them, I immediately said yes for one reason and one reason only: Netflix rhymes with wet chicks." Yes, that was a quip made by a man who was in his late 40s at the time. Understandably, Sandler received some pushback for his frat boy sense of humor, most notably from Rose McGowan. In a 2015 interview with Entertainment Weekly, the Scream star responded, "I mean, what? What in the f*** is going on? No." McGowan had previously called out Sandler for the casting note she received for one of his films, which advised female auditionees to enhance their cleavage by sporting push-up bras. The Me Too activist later told Entertainment Weekly, "I was offended by the stupidity more than anything. I was offended by the fact that it went through so many people's hands and nobody red flagged it." Remember the dodgeball scene in Billy Madison? And remember how Sandler's character makes several kids wince in pain as his dodgeball throws strike them in various body parts? Well, it turns out at least some of those noises were for real.
Now you're all in big, big trouble.
In a 2017 chat on Conan, Sandler revealed that he incurred the wrath of several concerned parents after taking all the dodgeball action a little too seriously.
I hit some kid pretty hard, and he gets upset and he starts crying, and then the parents all come up to me.
The child's parents were visibly angry, so some damage control was in order. Sandler then explained to them,
"That's the scene. I'm supposed to, I'm like a big guy, went back to school, I'm supposed to plug all these kids as part of the joke." Didn't they read the script?
Despite being reminded that most of the kids were too young to read, Sandler remained unapologetic. In fact, he continued on the offense, adding, "I think I told the guys to roll anyways, and I nailed a bunch of kids, something awful like that. But those kids grew up, and guess who they are today? I don't know." In 2015, after years of turning down invitations, Adam Sandler finally agreed to appear on the SiriusXM show hosted by his former nemesis, Howard Stern. And although the pair ended up burying the hatchet for good, things still got a little awkward during the eagerly awaited encounter. For instance, when Stern recalled the time Sandler ignored him during a fight, things got really uncomfortable. Sandler explained on the show, "That was after you were nasty to me, and I remember the next day you talked about me being an asshole again, but the reason I didn't say hello was you were saying to me." Stern, who was a vocal critic of the SNL alums movies, had previously complained about the fact that Sandler had repeatedly snubbed offers to appear on his radio show. But Sandler explained there was a valid reason why he'd been so affected by Stern's comments about his films. He told the radio host, "When I was at NYU freshman year, I loved you. That's why it was weird when you used to slam me. It would break my heart because I loved you growing up." Sandler fans may have been a little worried when they switched on Good Morning America in 2022 to see the comedy star with a black eye. But as the Billy Madison star soon revealed, there was a completely harmless, if still painful, reason for his facial injury. Sandler explained, "I was in bed in the middle of the night. You know how they tuck in your sheets at the bottom, some people? Somebody tucked in the sheets too much. I had my phone in the middle of the bed. I kicked my feet up to untuck it. The phone went flying, hit me in the head." The comedian also revealed that instead of tending to the wound and the blood pouring out, he simply went back to sleep due to his overly tired state. While some may think the Shiner looks so cool, the Hustle star quipped,
There's nothing cool about this thing.
Remarkably, other accidents had previously caused Sandler to go on television with a black eye. In 2015, he showed up on Jimmy Kimmel Live with a similar blemish. That time, however, the Shiner was caused by a flying elbow in a basketball game. A year prior, the blended star sported an impressive black eye during an interview on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. At the time, Sandler joked that the pregnant belly of fellow guest Drew Barrymore had been responsible, but the real reason has since remained a mystery.